I'm going back to my ex, my wife said after 15 years. I never really loved you. I just nodded. The next day, her own lawyer called with a broken voice. The house, the accounts. My God, what did you tell her yesterday? I'm going back to him, David. Claire didn't look up from her wine glass. She said it with the same casual indifference she'd used to tell me we were out of milk. 15 years, I said, my voice flat. We have 2 kids, Claire, a life. She finally looked at me, and her eyes were like shards of ice. There was no remorse, just a cruel, liberated spark. The kids are at boarding school, and the life was a performance. I never really loved you. You were the safe choice, the stable choice. But Mark is back in town, and I'm done pretending. She waited for me to scream. She waited for me to beg, to throw a vase, to shatter into a million pieces so she could feel the power of her own exit. I just nodded. Okay, I said. She blinked, confused. That's it? Okay? If you aren't here, you aren't here, I replied, leaning back in my chair. I won't keep a prisoner. Pack what you need. Leave the keys on the counter. She laughed, a sharp, ugly sound. I'm taking more than my clothes. David, I've already talked to Sarah. We're filing tomorrow. I want the house, the Hampton property, and half the portfolio. Don't try to be a hero. You know how good my lawyer is. I didn't argue. I didn't even stand up. I just watched her walk out of the room, her heels clicking against the hardwood like a countdown. The silence that followed wasn't heavy. It was elective. I spent the night in my study. I didn't sleep. I didn't cry. I just made 3 phone calls and opened a specific encrypted folder on my laptop. 1. I hadn't touched in over a decade. The next morning, Claire was gone before sunrise. She left a note on the kitchen island. Don't call me. Talk to Sarah. At 11 a.m., my phone buzzed. It was Sarah, Claire's high-priced shark attorney. I picked up. I didn't say hello. David? Sarah's voice wasn't its usual polished, aggressive self. It was trembling. It sounded like she was hyperventilating. David, what did you do? I didn't do anything, Sarah, I said smoothly. I just nodded. She's in my office, Sarah whispered, her voice breaking. She's catatonic. David, the accounts. We tried to pull the preliminary filings. The house in your name? It's gone. The joint portfolios? They don't exist. But it's not just the money. Oh? I asked, pouring a cup of coffee. She told me to look at the legacy file you sent her phone this morning. Sarah sobbed. David, my God! The photos. The logs. You've known about her and Mark for 12 years? You've been documenting every offshore transfer she made from her father's estate? You let her think she was winning for over a decade? I'm a patient man, Sarah. She has nothing, the lawyer choked out. The prenup she signed 5 years ago during your reconciliation trip? I just read the addendum. The one she signed without a lawyer present because she thought it was a life insurance policy? David, she legally signed away her right to any asset if she initiated a divorce on grounds of infidelity or abandonment of marital duty. She said she never loved me, I said, staring out at the garden she loved so much. That sounds like an abandonment of duty to me. But the house, Sarah's voice was a ghost. The deed was transferred to a blind trust for your children 3 months ago. She's homeless, David. And Mark? We just found out. Mark was arrested an hour ago. Something about a tip-off regarding his consulting firm in Dubai. I took a sip of my coffee. It was perfect. She wanted her old life back, I said. I just made sure she went back to exactly how I found her. Broke, desperate, and alone. I gave her 15 years of a dream. She decided to wake up. That's not my fault. You're a monster, Sarah whispered. No, I replied, my voice dropping to a cold, razor-thin edge. I'm the man who stayed when she didn't deserve it. I'm the man who kept the peace while she built a war room. I just finished the war before she even knew it started. I hung up. I walked to the kitchen island and picked up her note. I didn't tear it. I didn't burn it. I just placed it in the trash, right on top of the empty wine bottle from the night before. The house was quiet. For the first time in 15 years, it was finally beautifully quiet.